the core of the Force. I mean, you got the dark side, the light side. One is selfless, one is selfish. And you want to keep them in balance. What happens when you go to the dark side is it goes out of balance, and then you get really selfish and you forget about everybody, and you ultimately lead yourself, because when you get selfish, you get stuff, or you want stuff. And when you want stuff and you get stuff, then you are afraid somebody's going to take it away from you.
What you just saw was George Lucas himself explaining what the Force is, and more specifically, what balance in the Force means. Now you must be thinking, what is this article? Star Wars 3 did a video on this article, but I feel like he didn't get to the core of what George Lucas meant by balance in the Force, so I thought I'd give my take. Next Star Wars showrunner confirms, Leslye Headland for the Acolyte, confirms Disney is moving away from one George Lucas idea. And that is what balance means in the Force. Honest, and that's that's literally the biggest topic in Star Wars. And here's a quick hot take before I continue reading. I actually like what Leslye Headland said more than how Dave Filoni has been handling the Force in Star Wars. So let's see what she has to say. Honestly, the way I look at it is, there is no light without darkness, no good without bad. So to me, and this might be just a personal thing, the Force is about balance. It's not just a Marvel superpower, and that is exactly what it's been feeling like. In Dave Filoni's live-action Ahsoka series, that's what it felt like. Sabine started using the Force like nothing. She pushed a full-grown human male dozens of feet in the air. It's like she unlocked a power and was now able to use it. That's not how it works. And that's how it felt. Rey, Force healing. Like, it feels like it's a power. It feels like you unlock an ability and now you can use it. That's not how the Force works. It's a relationship. It takes time and concentration. I love the way George handled the Force and how he even talked about Force-sensitive people. Like how the Jedi in the prequels in the original trilogy talked about Force-sensitive people, how they talked about the Force. It was sort of a mystery, you know? The way they talked about it, they didn't just say, hey, look, that's a Force-sensitive over there. Qui-Gon was like, there's something special about that boy, you know? There's something different. There's, you know, it's not literally just in your face. It's like, it's a little bit mystical, and that's cool, okay? So it's not a Marvel superpower, and that's how Disney Star Wars has been handling it. Like Ezra using, like, the Force is my ally, bomb, 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 and then he uses a blaster. Like what? Like the Force push. What are you, airbending? Like, calm down, guy. Like the idea is cool, but it looks like he's some Marvel superhero. Like the Force is a superpower, and that's not how it should be. That's not how it should look. Okay, so I wholeheartedly agree with her on that. It is not just a Marvel superpower. The Force-sensitive aren't using telekinesis because they're special, powerful people. Exactly. It's because they've achieved balance. Incorrect. You think Palpatine achieved balance? What does balance mean to her? That's the question. As Yoda says, my ally is the Force. So the idea of a separation from that was really interesting. If you're unbalanced, the Force cannot protect you. Okay, so is Palpatine unbalanced? Yes. What is her definition of balance? Okay, there is no light without darkness, so you have to have that balance of light and dark. Do you really think Palpatine has a balance of light and dark? The evil Sith Lord of the entire universe? The Sauron of Star Wars? Yeah, dude, no. He doesn't have a balance of light and dark. So how is the Force his ally? I mean, he bends the Force to his will. He uses the Force. So right now, I want to hone in on what I think George Lucas meant, what George Lucas truly meant. So let's take a look at his quote one more time. What happens when you go to the dark side is it goes out of balance. And then you get really selfish. So once you go to the dark side, you're out of balance. Being in balance is in the light. So how does that make any sense, right? It's not a balance between light and dark, because if you're in balance with light and dark, that means you have some light and you have some dark. And that's not what George meant. That's not what George meant at all. If you're in that dark, you're not balanced. So with that in mind, let's look at this, the spiritual meaning for balance. In Christian spirituality, the balance has more to do with temperance, which means that we allow our deepest principles to hold our passions in check. So being in balance is exhibiting temperance. And that's exactly what the Jedi do. That's exactly what George meant. Being in balance with the Force has nothing to do with having equal balance of light and dark. It's not that at all. And we saw that with Anakin Skywalker in the World Between Worlds in the Ahsoka series. That's not what balance in the Force looks like. It's not a balance between light and dark. Balance is temperance. It's about finding that peace within yourself. It's about holding our passions in check. And that's exactly what the Jedi do. They don't give in to their passions. They show temperance. And they found balance in their lives. And that's what George Lucas meant. Remember, Anakin Skywalker as Darth Vader only brought balance to the Force once he shifted back. Once he shifted back to the good. You know? He wasn't a balance between the both. So, looks like Dave Filoni is getting it wrong, and now Leslye Headland is getting it wrong. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys think about all this? And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.